Kum Lena and Ablat Gemara. We are up to Masechta Megilah Daf Daled Amid Aleph, and the Gemara is Amr B'Shur Ben Levi, about 12 lines from the top of the page. We are learning a number of dinim that the B'Shur Ben Levi said regarding Purim. Amr B'Shur Ben Levi, B'Shur Ben Levi said, Noshim Chayaves B'Mikra Megilah, that there's no difference in men and women. Women are also chayiv in the midst of reading Megillah. She'af hein hoya ba'otzei hanes. They were also included in the miracle. Big machlekes is Rishonim what exactly that means. Most Rishonim hold that they were also included in the tsaros that Eden had. Haman threatened to annihilate everybody, including men, women, and children. However, Rashi says af hein hoya ba'otzei hanes was that they were critical in the salvation. And Rashi says they were also included in the Gezeidah, but others are trying to say that they were actually critical in the Rashbam says that they saved the Eden. It's like the Lashon is Iker Hanes Hoya Al Yadin. And what was it? Purim was through Esther, obviously. Chanukah was through Yehudis. So Yehudis was vital in the entire story. And mit Pesach Mitzrayim, because Chus Noshim Sitkanius. That's Afein Hoye B'Hoyis Hanes. Does that make them equal in the mitzvah? So some Rishonim hold Rashi Nech, and others that a woman could read for a man because they have exactly the same mitzvah. The Bahag holds there's a fundamental difference between the woman's chiyuv and the men's chiyuv. The men are chayiv to read the Megillah, and women are chayiv to listen to the Megillah. So therefore, a man can be moitzi a woman because when you read, you're included in listening as well. But a woman cannot read for a man because her mitzvah is to hear, not to read. Those who hold that they have the same mitzvah, why can't they read in public? Because the covered hatzibur. But the Meiri says an interesting thing. The reason why a woman cannot read Megillah for men is because Kol Isha Erva, it's a song, and you're listening to a woman singing a song. However, the Meiri says, the Ritva says, the Ran later says that a woman can be counted in a minyan when it comes to Megillah, because it's not really changing anything, because really whether you're reading it 1 or 10, the same bracha, everything the same. So therefore they can be counted, not like by benching where the bracha changes. If you're 10, you add Elokeinu, if you're 9, you don't, and then it's not sneers to be together. But in the Megillah, which is interesting, they can be included. Okay, then the question is, if Afin Hoybais and that's such a big thing, why did we learn of Psachim? We needed a whole Gzer Shavah that women are chayiv and matzah, because whoever is included in the Isser of Chametz is included in the mitzvah of matzah. Just say Afin Hoybais and Nes. So most Rishonim hold that Af Hein Hoya Beisanes is only Midrabanan. There we are learning that women are chayiv in Pesach Mahatorah, just like men, no different. Therefore, we needed the Gzeira Shabbat. Okay, let's continue the Gemara. Another thing he said, Purim Chalei b'Shabbos. The Purim falls on a Shabbos. Shoylin v'Dorshin be'inyonim shel Yom. Even though we don't read the Megillah on Shabbos, but we do go ahead and we talk about Purim. Says the Gemara, every Yom Tov, besides the fact that we say 30 days prior to Yom Tov, Shailin V'Dorshin, which according to most of the Shailin means that if somebody asks you a question, it's a legitimate question. But also on the day of Yom Tov, Moshe Rabbeinu already said it's incumbent upon Rabbanim to talk about that Yom Tov. The time we learned, Moshe Tikkun Le'am Yisrael, Moshe Rabbeinu, he himself instituted to the Eden, Shailin V'Dorshin, that we should be asking and dashing in Yonishal Yom, the matters of pertaining to that day, Hilchas Pesach b'Pesach, Hilchas Atzeres b'Atzeres, and Hilchas Chag b'Chag. Interesting when he says Hilchas Atzeres b'Atzeres, what halachas are there in Shavuos? What possible halacha can you tell you? Pesach, obviously, and Sukkot, obviously, but Shavuos is just plain Yom Tov. Unless on Shavuos is the time when you talk about the general laws of Yom Tov and Pesach and Sukkot, you talk about the specific laws that deal with Pesach and Sukkot. Says the Gemara, because actually there's a whole discussion whether 30 days before Yom Tov we should include Shavuos as well. But definitely on the day include Shavuos. So we say Purim Mitzchlei. The Chiddush here is Purim. I would have thought in English, I would have thought just like you don't read the Megillah on Shabbos because you might carry it. So maybe you shouldn't talk about the laws as well on Shabbos because people think, what's the difference? If you talk about Purim, maybe you read the Megillah, Kamashalom, then we're not worried. Another thing B'Shur Ben Levi said, Chayiv Adam Likra, he says, a Megillah B'Layla B'Shanoisa B'Yom. The words he used was, you should read the Megillah at night and Shanoisa by day. Now, Shanoisa has a few definitions. One is repeated, one is to learn. So Shenemar, it says, I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Because it says in Pasuk, Elakai, Ekra Yomim, I called on Hashem by day, V'lo Sana, didn't answer, V'layla at night, V'lo Dumili, and he was quiet. So therefore, we see that by night and by day, they called out to Hashem. So we thought when he said l'shanoisa, he meant l'mikariya balayla, to read the Megillah in public at night. V'lemisna maslis in the day of Mama, and learn and read it and learn it. The Mishnahs of Masechta Megillah, what we're doing right now, by day. L'shanoisa, maybe he meant was to learn. Rabbi Yirmiyah said, "I understood Chibad didn't mean that you should go ahead and learn. If you're going to Amri Inchi ever Pasha, it's like people say, I'm going to be with this Pasha, I'm going to go through this Pasha, but Asnaida, I'm going to repeat it. So therefore, the Shanoisa means we should repeat it again by day. Itmanami, you actually learn. Amar Chalbay, Amarula Beira, Chayiv Adam Likin Megillah Balayla, Villa Shanoisa B'yam. You should read it by night and read it again by day. Now it says Lamani Zamech, a different pasuk. It says Lamani Zamech, so you have to read it by day and by night. Now, when it says is a mercha, will sing, and the loyidim, I won't be quiet. It's like two different times. So I'll sing by day, and then I won't be quiet at night. There's a big machlekes showing him. Do you make a shechiyanu when you read Megillah in the morning? Because all you're doing is repeating the Megillah. Why don't you say shechiyanu again? But with Taisa says we say it again because the mitzvah of the day is greater than the mitzvah of the night. And in fact, depends which pasuk you learn from. If you learn from the Yemani Zamecha Chavod, which is referring to the day, you sing it by day, and don't be quiet at night. It comes out that at night is sort of secondary to the day. The prime time is day, so the main mitzvah of Megillah reading is by day. At night you also read. And if you learn from the other pasuk, like then maybe there's no difference between the two, day and night. And once you read it once, why repeat the Shechiyanu again? If we say day is greater than night, how is the mitzvah of day greater than night? So some want to say, the Yehuda wants to say that at night, that by day reading the Megillah, because if it says Yom Mishta V'Simcha, so everything is by day. Yom Mishta V'Simcha. So the mitzvah of Kabbalah of Nevi'im is only by day. The Rabbanon came along and said, do it by night as well. So so by day is Divrei Kabbalah from the Nevi'im, and at night is only a mitzvah derabbanan. And based on that, some want to say that a woman cannot read a Megillah for men during the day because the Kabbalah and the mitzvahs listen men to read. They can't, but at night, when the mitzvah is only midrabbanan, maybe they could read the Megillah at night. That's what some want to say. Anyway, thinking about it further. So we said that the villagers can bring it earlier because they provide food. Now the Gemara had a misunderstanding what it means because they provide food. So first the Gemara thought that our main concern was not the people in the village. Our main concern was the bulk of the population which lived in the city, and we wanted the people in the village to be free on Purim so that they can come and sell their wares on Purim itself. So we thought we'll say to the people, you can discharge your obligations of Purim on Monday or Thursday prior, so that when Purim actually comes out on Tuesday, Wednesday, for example, you're free, you can go and sell, you bring your stuff here and sell. In other words, it's not because we are concerned about the people in the village, we're concerned about the people in the city. In order they should provide food for their brethren in the city. The Dalim and Beis on top. The members, it comes out that the Kanta the Krachanaba, we're trying to improve the lot of the people in the city. They should have what to eat for Purim. But now didn't we learn Chol Lias B'Sheni, if Purim falls on a Monday, Kfari, Va'yodah, Gedolos, Koinba, and the people in the village read on Monday. How does that help the people in the cities? If the people in the village are busy doing their mitzvahs of Purim, how are they going to be selling to the people in the city? If the whole purpose is to take care of the people in the city. The Imi said, if you're right, in this case also the people in the village should be allowed to observe Purim the Thursday before, so that on Monday, Purim, they're free. Gemara said, you know why? It's impossible. Because the Thursday prior is a 10th day of the month, and then before the earliest possible date is 11th. The 10th day we didn't make such a thing. Toshma coming here. Okay, that's Monday to Thursday. What about if Purim falls on Thursday and bring it forward to Monday? It's the 11th. So how come, according to you, Choli is b'chamishi? For the Purim falls on Thursday, it says in the Mishnah, Kfarim the Ayars Gedolos Kohen, but we don't read it on Thursday now. The whole purpose is that they should be free, so that they can come in on Purim and sell their stuff. So if they can discharge their responsibility earlier, they can be free on Purim. You're right. The Kadmalim Knisa, why do they bring it forward to Monday? The people in the village should read it on Monday. The Achad Asarhu, that's 11th day. Gemara says you're right, but we didn't think it was right. If they already can easily discharge their obligations on Thursday to make them do the Monday before, we didn't feel comfortable. Okay, Toshma, come in. I'll prove you wrong. Amar Rabbi Yehuda says in the next Mishnah, when do we bring it forward? Only people will come in anyway, Monday, Thursday. The butter dinner are set up, the shuls are there. They come in anyway. Okay, it's not a big deal. So we're not asking them a favor. We're making it easy for them. But if they don't come in Monday and Thursday anyway, they should be put like everybody else. But if the whole purpose is the whole purpose is to make it easier for them to enable the people in the village, in the cities, to observe Purim properly, because the people in the village generally don't come in on Monday and Thursday, we make it difficult for the krachim, we should force. What's it? We tell the people in the village, you're going to come in anyway, which is a Tuesday, Wednesday. Come in on Monday, get discharged your responsibilities, and Monday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, you can go and sell and make money. Obviously, we learned wrong shot. No time, but don't say that. Don't say Kadesha speak of my Muslim. You misunderstood. You thought that we're doing it to enable the people in the city. No. This is actually a reward to the people in the villages for providing food, sustaining the people in the city all this time. Because they provide food, we want to make it easy. We say, look, you're coming in Monday and Thursday anyway because the butter didn't are there, or because they're here to the Kriyas Torah. You're coming in anyway. You know what? We're not going to make you schlep on Tuesday again or Wednesday again. You're coming in on Monday and Thursday. You can take care of your Purim obligations then. And I told you, the machlekes of Shainim of the night, they have to read the forego completely the Megilah night because they don't come in Sunday night, or they have Sunday night they read it at home to themselves, and Monday they come in with a minyan. Ketzad, so the Mishnah says, Choli is b'sheni b'Shabbat. The Purim falls on Monday. They read it on Monday, so on and so forth. So interesting. The Mishnah starts off. The Megillah is read 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we go according to the days of the month chronologically, and then when it starts giving examples, it goes according to the days of the week, which is exactly the opposite. Instead of going 11, the first example we gave is where Monday falls on Monday, but Purim falls on Monday, and therefore they read it. Let's say they read it on that day. So those are reading actually on the 15th. Then if it falls on Tuesday, they're reading it. The 14th. And if it comes out on Tuesday, they're reading it Monday, which is the 13th. So in fact, when the Mishnah gives examples, we're working our way backwards. When the Mishnah lines it up, it says 11, 12, 13, 14. But examples is 14, 13, 12, 11. So if you want a Maishna Reish, they're not considered Yarcha. Why it goes in the order chronologically of the month? Maishna Sefer. Why? When it comes to examples, the Nokat Seduda, the Yoimil, when it talks about the organ of the day, why you do exactly the opposite, goes to the days of the week. So we answer, I did the Mishapchle Nokat Seduda Yoimil. Because you'll have to turn everything around. So therefore, we decided to follow the days of the week, and it comes out exactly the opposite of what it is. That in the first examples that we said in the beginning. Because if you're going to do the way of the month, it'll be very, you have to add a lot more words, and a lot of mistakes can happen. This way, it's very easy to say, Purim falls on Monday, Purim falls on Tuesday, Purim Wednesday. That's very clear cut. Even though, as a result of that, the examples we give, we're working our way backwards in the month. Choli Shabbos. What happens if Purim falls on Erev Shabbos? He says it must listen. Our Mishnah could be Mali. Who's also our Mishnah? It could either be Rebbe, it could either be Rabbi Yossi. But it could either be Rebbe, it could either be Rabbi Yossi. What's the story? Because it says that by Rebbe, time we learn Choli Erev Shabbos. What happened? Purim falls on a Friday. Kfarim ve'ayorik deilos magdim lemechnisa. Not only the villagers read on Thursday, but also the cities. We bring them forward, read on Thursday. Our Mishnah says that the villagers read it on Thursday. The people in the city, they read it on Boy B'Yom, which is Friday. And Yerushalayim as well join them for Friday, because Purim on Shabbos you can't read, obviously, and you can't go to Sunday because it's too late. So the question is, when do they read? So Rebbe says, the Tanakhama in this Braisa says that Ayorik bring it forward to Thursday as well. And we'll soon see why. And the people in the walled cities, they should have read it on Shabbos, but we don't read Megillah on Shabbos, so they read on Friday. We want to maintain that distinction between a walled city and an open city. So therefore, since the walled city will be reading on Friday, they have no choice. So the open city, we bring it forward a day, not the general 14th day of the month, we bring it to the 13th. However, Rebbe disagrees. I say, why should they budge? Their day is the 14th, and the 14th is perfectly all right. The people in the city and the people in the walled cities, they're both reading on Friday. My time of the Tanakhama, what's the logic of Tanakhama? Why bring the cities forward? Because it says in the pasuk that Eden kept upon themselves and their children to read the Megillah and observe these 2 days. It says, what is adding the words The Chol Shana B'Shana. Every single year they'll do these 2 days. So Elias Oisim Shnei Yamim Chol Shana B'Shana. It's as if to say we will always maintain the distinction of 2 separate days. Just like every general year, we say that the open wall cities read on a different day than the closed wall cities. Afkant, even when it comes out on a Friday, Ayoras Koyim from Mukafin. Got to keep them 2 separate. So since Mukafin Chayim, the wall cities have to read on a Friday because Shabbos you can't read Megillah, so you have no Breda, but to take the open cities and bring them forward. The Ema says, how do you know what it means? Maybe the Choshana V'Shana, maybe it means this is how you should read it. Ma Kol Shana V'Shana every year. Ein Nitches Ayar Mekayim. We never move the people in the city from the date of the 14th. They always read on the 14th. Afkan, unless it's called on Shabbos. Afkan here too. Lo Yitcho Ayar Mekayim. Don't move them. Shiny Hochlefshe. We have no choice. You can't have no bread. Since you cannot have, according to this opinion, Ayoris and Mukafas Chayim reading it on the same day. So therefore, you have to bring the Ayoris a day earlier. Rebbe, what's his logic? How come he said that you ought to continue reading it on Friday the 14th? My time, because he dashes b'chol shana shana exactly the opposite of the first one. He dashes like the question we just asked. Ma kol v'shana shana every year. Ein ayor yichim mekayim. Generally, ayor is read it on the day. Avkan yichim mekayim. We also they should read on the day on the 14th. I maybe ve'im b'chol shana shana ma kol shana shana every year the ayor is come before the mukafin. Avkan nama yichim mekayim. Maybe means the other way around like Tanakama that. Are 2 separate distinct days, so maybe the Ayodah should be the day before. Shani Hacha, here's different. Here you have no choice, and because you have no choice, the Ayodas and Mukafachem have to be on the same day. Because the 14th day you have no breda. Okay, that's so different. The author of our mission that says that Kfarim villages are brought forward to Thursday, and Ayoras and Mukafim both read on Friday could very well be Rebbe. But by the same token, it could also be Rabbi Yossi. My Rabbi Yossi, which Rabbi Yossi you're referring to? Another brayse. The Tanya we learned in another brayse. Cholid b'Erev Shabbos. A Purim falls on Friday. Bukafin ukfarim. This the Tanakam here says that the walled cities, ukfarim villages, magdim. Interesting. The walled cities you can read before the open cities, and the walled city will read on Thursday, and the villages on Thursday, and the here the open city they read on the normal day, which is Friday. They read it on Friday. Rabbi Yossi Ein mukafin koyim layonis. You can never have a situation that the walled city should read it prior to the open city. So what do you do? They're both read on Friday. So let's understand. My time in Tanakama, why does Tanakama say that we take the Mekufin and bring it forward? He will learn you need to maintain a disparity between the Mekufin and the Yaris. They cannot be read on the same day. And since the Yaris belong on Friday, so we have no choice but to bring Mekufin to Thursday. Because again, he says Chol Shana V'Shana. And what do we know about every single year? What's so distinctive about every year? My Chol Shana V'Shana, Ayoris Baba also, the open cities on the 14th. There's the Manish Ozer, Lois Manish Ozer. They have 2 different days. Afkan here too. Ayoris Barba, so the open cities on the 14th, and there's Manish Ozer, Lois Manish Ozer. So therefore, you have no choice to bring forward. Be'ema, says the Gemara, the same question before, maybe Chol Shana V'Shana means something else. The Chol Shana V'Shana, what do you mean every year should be the same? Ma Chol Shana V'Shana, Ein Mukafin Koyim L'Yod. We never have a situation where a walled city should be read before the open city. So maybe even if it falls on a Friday, I've come here too, Ein Mukafin Koyim L'Yod. We don't have a walled city prior. In other words, they should both be read on Friday. So we answer Shana Hochlefshe, we have no Bereda. Since they cannot be at the same time, and we have no choice, so we have to bring Mukafin before, whether we like it or not. No, my time at Rabbi Yossi, how Rabbi Yossi maintains that the open and closed city and walled city, they both read on Friday. Because he actually b'chol shana v'shana, that is, ma kol shana v'shana, ein mukafin koyim. You can never have a situation mukafin come before a yoris. Afkan here too, ein mukafin koyim yoris. And over here too, can I have? So Rebbe said before Chol Shana V'Shana that is always read on the 14th on Baby Yom, and he said that the Chol Shana V'Shana is similar, that you can never have a situation that Mukafin are read before the Ayoras, for the open cities. The aim of how do you know? Maybe the Chol Shana V'Shana is like the Tanakama. Mat Chol Shana V'Shana both read 2 different dates. Avkan's Manish is Lois Manish is there. So the answer Shana is different. So you have no choice. You have no choice. That what you have to read on the same day. The Sover Rebbe, they want to ask a question. Rebbe holds that Ayoris loy dachinin loy kedisa. Are you telling me Rebbe holds that people in the city you never bring forward to earlier? But time we learned Choli is b'Shabbos. What do you do for on Shabbos? Then Kfarim magdim miliyem kedisa. This the Tanakama here says it falls on Shabbos. The Kfarim they bring forward to Thursday, and Ayoris gedolos. When do they read? Anyway, they're not reading in the right time on Shabbos. So when should they read? And here we have a machlekes. Our mission is a bit cryptic, but here in the Braisa of machlekes, this Tana holds koyin better Shabbos. You don't bring it forward to Thursday. You read it on Friday. You have no choice. And Mukafas Chaim read it always, the 15th day of the month, which is Sunday. Rebbe says no. Once you're going to move Ayoris from Shabbos, bring it forward to Thursday. Rebbe Ani, I am of the opinion that Hoyil v'nitchu Ayoris Mekayim, once you move the city from its place for Shabbos, Yitchu Yom bring it forward to Thursday. So what does he clear? Rebbe holds also that Ayoris do get sometimes pushed off and they get brought forward. So what are you comparing? If Purim falls on a Friday, or Purim falls on a Shabbos. In the case over here, the real day is Shabbos, and you have to push it off. Once you push it off, says Rebbe, you can bring it forward to Thursday. Bring forward to Thursday, the time when everybody else reads. Over here, Purim fell out on Friday, and the 14 days on a Friday. Why would you push it off? Says the Gemara, so who does it follow what Abchelba said? Purim shecholi is b'Shabbat. The Purim falls on a Shabbos. Hakol nitchim liyom haknisa. Everybody gets pushed off to Yom haknisa. By saying Hakol, it sounds like even the walled cities. Hakol nitchas hagdatoch. Everyone gets pushed off to Thursday. Mukafin. The Abdil Macha, they don't get pushed off, they do it on Sunday. Anyone that's supposed to be read on the 14th that gets pushed away, when you bring it forward, don't bring it forward to Friday, which is our Shabbos, bring it forward to Thursday. Come on, who does that follow? That follows like Rebbe. That's Rebbe's opinion. But our Mishnah seems to be holding that no, like the Tanakama, that the real Purim goes forward to Friday, and the villagers bring forward to Thursday. Says the Gemara, but one thing we have clear from all of these opinions, everyone agrees that if Purim falls on a Shabbos, you don't read the Megillah. Why not? The Kulei Amim Megillah Shabbos. Everyone agrees you don't read Megillah Shabbos. My time, why don't you read the Megillah Shabbos? Omar Rabba says, Rabba, you know why? Hakol Chayovin B'Kriyas Megillah. Everyone is obligated to read Megillah. Ve'ena Hakol B'Kiyin B'Kriyas, but everyone's an expert. Because we are worried, Shema Yitlena B'Yoda, you might take the Megillah in your hand on Shabbos, V'Yelech Etzel Baki, and you will go to some expert, Lilma to learn, V'Yavirena Arba Amas V'Shus Hashanah. And you might carry 4 amas in Rosh Hashanah, even if you're not in anywhere near Rosh Hashanah. If you're out in the field or somewhere else, we're still worried, generally. Behind the time of the Shema, behind time of the Lulav. That's the reason, because the word Shema Yavirenu, which we discussed already in Mar Sukkah, Beya. There's a general question asked: so how come, for example, you might have a bris milah on Shabbos? Why aren't you worried that the moil will carry the knife on Shabbos? So many answers. Teishes here said because bris milah is such a big mitzvah. Yud Gimel bris is nichros olah 13 times. It says the word covenant, so therefore the Chachamim didn't want to intervene. You don't want to remove that mitzvah. Others say because you're the only one doing it, everyone else is not involved in the mitzvah. So if they see you carrying, they'll remind you and they'll stop you. It's not like Megillah and Purim. Everybody is involved in the mitzvahs. Everybody is sort of excited. And others say that the reason is, the Ritva says an interesting thing. The Ritva says the reason is, since you're not allowed to mala anyway, you're causing a chabal, you're causing a wound on Shabbos, which is asar mahatera. Yet the Torah says, the Torah removed an isser in the Torah in order to enable you to do bris and Shabbos. So the Chachamim will come in and say, but we're going to stop you because we're worried about another mitzvah. You do another way, which the Torah is not even worried about. How could the Chachamim come along and do that? Then they can have the Taz's famous answer. He lays down a very important rule. Anywhere the Torah says clearly that something is permitted, the rabbis have no power to come along and answer it. The Torah says Uvayim Hashmini Yimov Sarlos. The Gemara says Uvayim extra and the 8th day means that even if it falls on Shabbos, as if the Torah explicitly writes on Shabbos, go ahead and do a bris milah. How can the Chachamim come along and answer something where the Torah clearly says you can't? You can't do that. The Torah doesn't say clearly you can blow straight from Shabbos, so the Chachamim say don't blow, and so on. One other answer is given. One other answer given is that the reason why Megillah, the reason why Shofar and Sukkah, for example, we don't think. Remember the Gemara in Sukkah that actually years ago they used to bench rule of the first day Shabbos because they knew precisely when the Chodesh is. But now that it's a Sveika the Yom, so therefore, since it's not 100% that it's a mitzvah in the Torah today, maybe it's tomorrow. So Chami came along and said, no, Gzela, don't do it, Shema Yavarenu. But when it comes to bris milah, it's the 8th day after the kid is born. There's no suffix. It's 100% a mitzvah in the Torah. The Chachamim didn't want to come along and pull away the mitzvah. Saying about it further, however, Rabbi Yosef comes along and he says, I'll give you another reason altogether, at least when it comes to Megillah. You know why? Because the Aniyim train themselves when there's Megillah, they'll get Matanos Levyanim and everything else, and they think they'll get it. But what happened is that that on Shabbos, if you're going to read the Megillah, they're not going to get the Matanos Levyanim. You'll be very disappointed. And when they're going to collect it, and it'll be a broken Shabbos for them. That's why we decided not to have Megillah on Shabbos. Interesting. So the mitzvah Matanos Levyanim sort of became more important and significant than the mitzvah Megillah Bismanoi, and we said, you know what? Let's bring it forward. Even though, let's say, the villages, they bring Monday, but when do they do the mitzvah Matanos Levyanim with that? So right now the Gemara says that they do Matanos Levyanim on the same day. What do you mean, even though? But if you're telling me that, let's say, the people in the village, they bring their Purim forward, not that the Suda has to be Bismani, but they bring the day forward after Monday when they read the Megillah, so they also do Matanos Levyanim. So they should have said, and because you read Megillah, therefore you do Matanos Levyanim. Ella, that's exactly what he meant to say. Say, Hoyil va'omru, we say, Shekvarim Magdin Liyam HaKnisa, Goyim B'biyam, Mechalka B'biyam. You know why? N'sheinayim shalaniyim nesuyas b'mikkim Megillah. When it comes to Mishlech Manas, when it comes to the Suda of Purim, that you do Bismani, regardless of where you come from. But when it comes to Matanos Levyanim, the poor people have trained themselves that they go to Shul, Megillah, everybody gives them tzedakah. So therefore, if the Kfarim are reading the Megillah early on a Monday or a Thursday, they have to give them Matanos Levyanim then as well to discharge their responsibility. Aval Simcha, but the Suda itself ain't on a heges ela bismana. But the Suda itself is only bismana. So the Gemara doesn't say about B'shlech Manas, but it seems B'shlech Manas would be to go together with the Suda, because one of the reasons of B'shlech Manas was in the sign is so in order that everyone should have enough food for the meal. So it's actually like an extension of the Suda term. So that therefore is celebrated on the day itself. Okay, we'll stop over here.